Welcome to this series of videos looking at GCSE Computer Science. The course is split into two units, Unit 1 Computer Systems and Unit 2 Computational Thinking, Programming and Algorithms. Each is worth 50%. So far in Year 9 we've been looking at Unit 2 Computational Thinking, Programming and Algorithms. There are lots of different resources that you can use to help you out there, including Craig and Dave. All their videos are excellent, all the Seneca resources and GCSE Pod. In this first lesson, we're going to look at the purpose of the CPU, including the fetch, decode and execute cycle. We're going to be looking at the structure of flow in a computer system. Here are our key questions you should be able to answer by the end of the lesson. In every unit, I'm going to be providing you with a keyword wall. These are the keywords that you need to be able to give definitions for. They need to be precise definitions so that you can ensure that you do the best you can in your GCSE. A computer system can be thought of in the following way. We have a series of inputs which are processed within the system and turned into outputs. We may store some data. We may communicate with other computer systems. I want you to pause the video and recreate this diagram in your workbooks. The extension to this activity is to try to find an example image of each of the following. Before we look deeper into this topic, it's important we know what a peripheral is. Now, peripheral is a device which is outside of the processing unit. So that means any device which might be connected to the computer, but think of it as outside the computer. So that might mean devices like mice, keyboards, printers, etc. Please pause the video and go and give a definition of what a peripheral is. There is an extension activity on this slide. I want you to find this page in your workbook and split up the images under peripherals or non-peripherals. Which ones do you think go under which heading? Make sure you pause the video and then we'll have a look at it. So you should have paused the video and completed this task. The peripherals are things that are outside of the computer, outside of our computer box really. So our headphones, our mouse, our microphone, everything else are non-peripherals. They're inside our computer box. We're going to talk through the following 4 different parts of our computer system. While we go through these different sections, I want you to be filling in the different keyword definitions. The first part of our computer system is an input device. These are used to get data into the computer system. That might be through a conventional method, something that we're used to using, such as a mouse. That might be a keyboard, a joystick, a microphone, where data is going into the computer system. When you sing, your computer is recording that data, so that data is going in through a microphone. But input devices don't just have to be the devices that we're used to. It might be sensors. These might be temperature sensors, and on your phone there's a range of different input sensors, such as a gyroscope, an accelerometer, and there are lots more, including touch. These are all giving a computer system inputs. Remember that you should have done your definition now of what an input is. Remember that inputs feed into our computer system. Let's now have a look at output devices. Output devices are any devices used to get data out of the computer. Once we've made an input, we're going to process that data to decide what to do with it. That might mean playing some sound to our headphones. Or we might have told the computer to print, so the output would be the paper coming out of the printer with ink on it. We might also have LEDs which light up. Think of a crossing going over a road. When you press the button, that's our input. Our output is the wait sign and then it will process it to tell us that we have pressed the button, and then eventually the traffic lights will change. Make sure you give a definition of output in your workbook. Now, in conventional computer systems, we usually have some type of storage. There may have been an input which has been processed, and we want to store that. We can think of this as when we're working on our computers, making a Word document or a PowerPoint. We might want to store that data somewhere, and we can do that by storage devices. Usually these come in the form of USB or hard drive, but nowadays a lot of the time we're using cloud storage such as Google Drive. Please make sure you have given a definition of a storage device. In our connected world, it's very unusual to have a computer system that stands alone. It usually connects to a range of different computer systems through communication devices. These are used to send and receive data between each other. When we send a Snapchat, or when you send a message to somebody else, this will be communicating between two systems, and the communication devices are those that connect us together. Please make sure you have given your definition of communication systems. The final task in this lesson is to think about our processing. Now, processing happens in between an input and an output. And I've put some very simple calculations on the page. We have an input, we type it into the computer, we're giving it a process or something's happening to it, and then there's an output. Please go and complete this page in your workbooks.